I tried for weeks to tell him to go to the hospital, and then he waited one night till he couldn't breathe anymore, where he almost died, to
Mm.
have me take him. That's how he is. He'll just wait till it's so bad. Like he just doesn't like to go to the doctors. He'd rather, it's almost like he'd rather be dead.
Yeah, I know exactly how that is because I'm the same way.
Oh my
You know,
God.
I had to wait until I thought I was going to die before I decided I better go to the doctor. And and then of course, and they're always yelling at, not yelling at me, but they're like, you know, you should have been in here last week for this. Or I always lie
Well,
to them too. Tell them, oh, it's been happening
yeah.
about a week. No, it's been happening for 6 weeks, but you know,
But see, the thing is, if you go sooner, then you don't have to suffer as long and you can take care of it and maybe it won't get as bad, like, and I don't know.
I know I get into denial about it. Is my problem. I'm like, this is not that bad.
He's the
I've been
same
through
way.
worse. Excuse me. So, all right, let me go over here and fix this.
And here's Mickey. Hi, Mickey.
Fix it on to gather. And
Oh, one more thing, Karen, what's going on with your mom?
Are you talking to me?
yeah,
Yeah.
She's doing okay. She's still healing from her pelvis break, but she's hanging in there too.
Ay, ay,
And
ay.
she's a lot stronger in a lot of ways. And I don't know, God bless her. At 83, she's doing pretty good.
God bless her. Right, right.
Yeah, she's a pretty strong lady.
yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
It's the idea that you're going to get to a point where parts start breaking. You know?
Uh, the body's such a big distraction. It
Yeah,
makes
it sure is. Huh? So we are reading A Course of Love, the 40 days, and we're in the very first day of the 40 days, which is called, come back over here and look, Accept Me. So Jesus or the voice is asking us to accept them. So um, we can just read through like a whole page if anybody would like to read. Uh,
could I just say a prayer first?
sure.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love the way you say it. I am only here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent you who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent me will direct me. I am, oh my goodness.
Content.
I am content.
Thank you. I am content to be wherever you wish, knowing you go there with me. I will be healed as I let you teach me to heal. Amen.
Amen.
I like the way that is.
Yeah, I do too. It just puts me in a personal space with God. Not like him who's somebody out here. Nope, it's him here, him who's here. So who would like to read, starting at the top of the page?
I'll start it.
Okay.
Namaste, mighty companions. You are all beloved sons and daughters of love itself, no matter what you call that love. You all are equally beloved. That you give your devotion to one religious tradition or another matters not. That you accept that I am He who can lead you beyond your life of misery to a new life matters absolutely. Call him
Keep
Fred.
reading or read a few paragraphs.
Okay. I am not your teacher, and you are not called to follow me blindly, but you are called to follow or succeed me. Only in this way can new life be brought to old. Your desire to know me has grown as you have read these words and grown closer to yourself. This is because we are one. To know me is to know yourself. Let us return a moment to the creation story and my acknowledgement that this creation story is occurring in each and every one of us. Let me move forward and speak a moment of Adam and Eve and the fall from paradise. Let us extend our idea of the creation story to include the creation of man and woman. Adam and Eve represent your birth into form. I represent your birth into what is beyond form. I love that. Adam and Eve represent what occurred within you at the beginning of the story of your creation. I represent what occurred within you recently, the story of your rebirth through this course. I love it.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And I love that. In fact, we were just reading this in the Impersonal Life today, that whatever religious tradition or other thoughts that we've ever had, uh, they're not they're not the truth. They are true to the extent that we can understand them, but you can't really put the truth in words.
Mhm.
So, and until you have a personal relationship, in fact, Glorian might it'd be interested. I'm going to go uh, look at this page in this Impersonal Life, because I think Glorian would really um, appreciate this. He says, I say to you, these are things he's talking about, the old religions and ideas and thoughts and everything that we've learned that have brought us to a lot of stuff. But he says, I say to you, these are things of the past and have naught to do with you. The time has arrived, if you can see it, when you must cast aside all accumulated knowledge, all teachings, all religions, all authority, even my authority as expressed in this, and my other outer revelations, for I have quickened you to the consciousness of my presence within, to the fact that all authority, teachings, and religions, coming from any outer source, no matter how lofty or sacred, can no longer have any influence with you, except as they become a means of turning you within to me for my final authority on all questions of whatsoever nature. So,
Beautiful.
Amen.
yeah,
Come with holy, empty hands unto your
yeah,
God.
and turn within. Quit looking externally. Quit looking at other. I mean, he says it's fine. You can read all this stuff and hope it makes you feel better, and hope it makes you happy. But in reality, what we need to do is turn within. And he also says in here, let me go find this. Um, he says, let's see, where is it? Basically, he says in here that there is a each and every single one of us. Oh, he says, but the time will come when you will realize that the thoughts of other minds and the teachings of other religions, no matter how true and beautiful, are not what I intend for you. For I have reserved for you thoughts and teachings which are yours and yours only, and which I will give you in secret when you are ready to receive them. So I mean, in this, in personal life, he's telling us that he has a lesson for each of us, and it is just for us, and we will receive it in secret when we go within. Glorian, please go ahead.
Yes, I love this. I love this teaching. And that's the reality of it, that I am within this. The recognition that as we sit in receptivity, we receive from the one mind. But where he says, sacredly and secretly, that's because there's only one. So I'm the only one that has to listen to my own higher mind so that I can forgive myself for my illusions, and then the projections cease to be. There is no one outside of that, of ourself. And that recognition, there are no bodies, there is no world. Jesus tells us there is no world. So we look beyond those projected concepts to that omnipresent Spirit of God. And Jesus tells us in the Course, seek not outside yourself, that we listen to that still small voice within. And the receptivity is really key. The receptivity, silencing that ego mind and allowing the one mind of Christ to reveal itself. Thanks.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Glorian. And I love those words, sacredly and secretly, because it is true. It's I I'm the only one that can hear that voice. That's for me, just as you're the only one who can hear that voice that's for you. And it's because, we've made the lock and only one key will work. If that makes any sense. Brooklyn, Lynn, go ahead.
I just love the way finding the truth in all these teachings. And like Karen wrote, forget this world, forget this course, and come with holy empty hands onto your God. These are all pointers. And I think in the course of love, Jesus is saying, accept me as you. This you shall do and more. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So she's talking about Adam and Eve and the creation story. I was talking to my sister about this the other day, and as you all well know, she's a fundamentalist Christian. And so we were talking about uh, Adam and Eve, and because she was saying, I can't vote for a government that would allow people to change their gender. And I said, well, we changed our gender. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, there was Adam, a man, and then a part of him came apart and became Eve, a woman. So the woman came out of the man, if you believe the Bible. And she goes, so there was a sex change that went on? I said, well, it was a man's rib, you know. I don't know what else you could call it. Oh my God. Glorian, please go ahead.
Oh, Lynn, that's just too funny. What was coming to me as we were reading this, the way it's revealed to me, is that Son of Man is male or female. The Son of God is spirit. So the Son of Man, male or female, is a projected concept and image. But the Son of God is that I am presence, our reality.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And it is genderless. I mean, the whole idea of gender is a separation and can't possibly be the reality of what we are. Because even if you don't believe this, but you believe that maybe you lived a past life, were you a woman in every past life you ever were in? Were you a man in every past? No, we were men, we were women, we were all kinds of different things. How can that be if we are one, if we are only one thing? Gloria, did you have your hand up again?
Yes, I do. Jesus tells us body is a totally neutral thing. The body is a totally neutral thing. So we give it all the meaning that it has for us, just like every other projected concept, we're giving it its meaning. So therefore, we see the image as male or female, when in reality, beyond that concept is the Christ. The Christ is neither male nor female. The Christ is. Beingness is. There's no label on beingness. It's the experience of oneness.
Exactly, exactly. And it can't be split into other things. Mickey, good to see you. Please go ahead.
Hi guys. So I have a little bit of a theory on this. Of course, we're not a gender because God's not a gender, and we were made in God's image. we're spirit. We're we're not anything. And we all, to a certain extent, feel a little bit wrong about being in a body, no matter whether we're straight or gay or trans or green or purple. We all feel a little uncomfortable being in a body. And I think that people who feel like they are in the in a body that's not the right gender for them are just falling for the ego's ploy of saying you're wrong. You're not right somehow. There's something wrong with you. And it's the whole body issue taken to an extreme measure by the ego. And we all fall for it a little bit. It's just that people who are so uncomfortable as one gender or another are falling for it a little bit more than the rest of us. And my heart goes out to anyone who is that uncomfortable in a body, because I feel it too all the time. I remember one time feeling like I had this moment of expansiveness, and then the awareness of the body came back in. And the the best way I could describe it is feeling like I was the size of a 747 put into a sardine can.
Wow.
It can just be so uncomfortable being in a body sometimes. And how somebody can say your idea of being in a body is wronger than my idea of being in a body. It's laughable. So anyway, I went through this whole thought process not too long ago, like maybe a month ago. So I just had to pipe in a little bit with the discoveries that came to me at that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. And I have to agree. I don't even know what it feels like to be a man or a woman. I don't know what it feels like, because if I start thinking about it, it's a story that somebody told me about it, or something that I saw in a movie or on TV, or uh, you know, there's nothing in me that feels like a gender. Nothing in me that feels like a gender. But I look in the mirror and I see this thing, and I make it up the way I like to look like it, but that doesn't mean that I identify with it. It just means that it's the vehicle. It's just like I don't feel like a Chevy when I get in my car. I don't feel like I, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I think if anybody really thought about it and really looked hard at themselves, they would recognize that they don't know what that means either. I feel like a man. What does a man feel like? How does a man think? How is it any different? That makes no sense. Karen, please go ahead, and then Brooklyn.
Well, the world tells us we're different. And then you have books out like Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. And, you know, so that's a good point, Lynn. And I love what Mickey just said. It's like so uncomfortable being in this body. For me, I have to say, like, and for what my mother's going through. I mean, she's in constant severe pain, what my uncle's going through right now, and just not being able to breathe, and swelling legs and not being able to walk and getting out of breath. I mean, all of it. It's just what Glorian said was helpful, the body as a wholly neutral thing. I love that. And there's so much good stuff in the course that reminds us that all sense of weakness is associated with the belief that you are a body. It's a belief that is a belief to be undone, and it's a mistaken belief. It's a mistaken belief. And so, just for me, remembering that and just remembering the truth of who I am and knowing that all these things that we all go through just assures us that we are not this body, because the truth of who we are is changeless. And this body is changing all the time. I mean, he tells us we're an alien. It's like, and he also tells us in the manual that the body thinks it's the decision maker. I'm kind of paraphrasing what he says about that, but basically that the body thinks it's a decision maker, that we actually think the body is in control, and the body is nothing. And it's sometimes, just to me, it's all the time just so comforting to know the truth. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Karen. And the body, oh my gosh, even when I was a little kid, and I hate to keep thinking about, how I was seeing things when I was a child, but I would wake up in the night and be terrified that I was in a body, and I would think, how can I get out? I just wanted to get out of it because I felt like I mean, I could still feel it now. I feel like I'm stuck. It's preventing me from just being what I am. I can feel that. So yeah, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. And I don't think anybody's body fits. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that ever has been born in this world that could say, I'm happy with my body the way it is. Because otherwise, we wouldn't be trying to change things. I'm going to exercise, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to, whatever. We're always trying to change it. Color my hair, put on makeup, wear some different clothes, whatever, always trying to change it. Nobody's happy with their body. I may be wrong, but I haven't met anybody that was. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Definitely. When I was younger, oh my God, the diets I went on, what I did to my body, to try to shape it like Twiggy or, like, yeah, this is, you know, we've been so brainwashed. But as we give our body over to Holy Spirit, we're his arms, we're his eyes, we're his ears. And yeah, that's when, and we still got to deal with the body's a really big distraction, and it, but like Jesus says here, I'm paraphrasing, but it's a big distraction, but I'm still here. Look at me instead. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's it's to keep us looking in the other direction. So, uh, and it works so far. So far, it's been pretty good at that.
Well, we're realizing
We're breaking out. Escape is in the plan. Who would like to read, starting with paragraph 19 here? And we'll just read a few paragraphs of this, if anyone would like to read. Karen, please go ahead.
The story of Adam and Eve and the story of Jesus are with you. As within, so without. In each of you is Adam and Eve represented in form. In each of you am I represented in form. The New Testament was the beginning of the new. My life represented fulfillment of scripture, of all holy writing, of all learned wisdom. In fulfillment are endings found and beginnings created. This fulfillment of scripture has now occurred within you. When it occurred within me, it occurred within all. It became part of the continuing story of creation acted out within the created. The story came after the fact. Thus, the fulfillment was always part of the story of creation. It was always part of you, as it was always part of me. Well, the story of Adam and Eve, I like the story of Adam and Eve and the story of Jesus are within you, as within, so without. And each of you is Adam and Eve represented in form. So, like, I thought about that, the story of Adam and Eve, how they were just, having a good old time in the garden until they got caught eating the apple. And then they thought they were guilty, and then they recognized that they were naked, and they were ashamed of themselves. Before that, they were free, and they never thought of sin. They didn't think they did anything wrong. And then the New Testament, the beginning of the new life, represented the fulfillment of just I think when we just recognize that when we are as God created us, that's for me personally, that you recognize the fulfillment is the oneness, knowing that we are all the same, and that will always be a part of the story of creation. It was always part of you, as it was always part of me. The separation never happened. Thanks.
Thank you, Karen. Yeah, that's beautiful. And, it just reminded me too, I don't know if people knew, there's two stories of creation in Genesis, two different stories of creation in Genesis. And uh, we kind of mix them up together as one, but that'd be something real interesting to look at someday, are the two different stories of creation that are there, because they're not the same. Glorian, please go ahead.
Yeah, what was coming to me, the story came after the fact. So the separated ideas, the thought came after the fact. Thus, the fulfillment was always part of the story of creation, what we are. It was always part of you, as it was always part of me, the oneness. And I think what it's being made reference to here is Melchizedek, the eternal spirit of God, without beginning and without end.
Beautiful. Thank you, Glorian. Yeah, that's it. And of course, it's a story. It's all stories. Brooklyn, go ahead, please.
This reminds me of the Course saying everything from beginning to end already happened. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's over. It's already done. So the fulfillment, the atonement was already done at the very beginning. There not a note in heaven's song was missed. So that makes sense to me. How about I read for a bit? Starting on paragraph 23. There is no story to project what comes next, no accomplished story. So basically saying that there might be a story, but no story actually, nothing actually happened. There is only scripture unfulfilled, the promise of inheritance or the threat of doom. Myth too stops short of fulfillment, of return to paradise. Yet this return to paradise is your true self, and your true home is written within you. It only needs to be lived to become real. You must accept me because I lived it and made it real for you. You must accept me because I am the part of you that can guide you beyond what I accomplished to the accomplishment of creation, and beyond creation to the story not yet written. the future not yet created, to the realization of paradise and of your true self and true home in a form that will take you beyond time to eternity. So, so it's kind of seeming like she's saying that first you must accept me because I lived it and made it real for you. So if this is Jesus talking, we gotta suppose because he accepted the atonement, was the first one who did that. And but then he's saying, I can guide you beyond what I accomplished to the accomplishment of creation, and beyond creation to the story not yet written, the future not yet created. So it's yes, I suppose, because even though Jesus accomplished the atonement, we're still here thinking that we're not in heaven. So until we're willing to accept the truth about ourselves, none of us can go beyond that. We're all just stuck in a loop. Wow. Yeah. And I see Brooklyn has her hand up. So Brooklyn, please go ahead.
You know, from listening to this, it sounds like Jesus is an ego, but but Jesus is talking about, we're not separated from him, and he's the one who lived as a human, I paraphrase, who saw Christ in everyone. And when he talks about I, he talks about the I in us that we have to realize. But the way it's read, it sounds like Jesus and ego. Yeah, you got to follow me. I know better, But I just wanted to clear that up.
Yeah. Yeah. And well, I suppose to an extent he is, right? Because if he hasn't moved on from that level either and is waiting for us to catch up, then again he can't go ahead without us. And that's kind of what I get from a course. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but he's like in a state where he can't move on completely either because we have to all go together. So that makes sense to me. Karen has her hand up. Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, that makes sense to me too, Lynn. And this return to paradise, I really love that. This return to paradise, to your true self and your true home, is written within you. It only needs to be lived to become real. So, the return to love always comes to my mind, that Marianne Williamson wrote, the return to love, the return to our right mind, the return to our true self. And he even tells us in the course that his word is in the course, means the atonement principle is written on everyone's heart. So that means that we never separated from God, that we are always the joining has always been. We were never separated. And that's the key for me to everything. Just remembering that, we never left home. We're just dreaming of exile. We're dreaming of this threat of doom. We're dreaming of this world that is this body that is a prison cell sometimes, or feels like a prison cell sometimes, but it's just a dream. And I can change my mind and accept the truth, accept my true self, just return to my right mind and return to love. And I'm home and I'm free. Thanks.
That's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. I love this. Yeah. And we all go home together. We all do it together. Glorian, please go ahead.
Oh, thanks everyone for all the sharing. What was coming to me here, yet this return to paradise, to your true self and your true home is written within you. This is the real world. the Course is talking about the real world, which is the Christ consciousness or the kingdom of God, which is in your consciousness. It only needs to be lived to become real, to allow that Christ mind to lead the way. You must accept me because I lived it and made it real for you. I don't think he's talking about the Jesus, the man here. You must accept me, the higher mind, because the Christ mind, because I lived it and made it real for you. You must accept me, the Christ mind, because I am the part of you that can guide you beyond what I accomplished to the accomplishment of creation, the oneness that we are. So, but we're not following a man, we're following the Christ consciousness. And beyond creation, to the story not yet written, the future yet not created, to the realization of paradise and your true self and true home, the Christ consciousness, in a form that will take you beyond time to eternity. So the form beyond linear time is the light body that I am. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Yeah, thank you, Gloria. And that makes perfect sense to me because I just don't think we're talking about, even though it's kind of referred to maybe as Jesus the person, there was no person of Jesus. Once he became identified with the Christ, he was no longer a man. So, I mean, that's what the Course says, and I believe it. So the Christ mind, I do believe, is exactly what we're talking about. I love that too. Thank you. Mickey, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. That was beautiful. And also when you were reading that again, Gloria, and it occurred to me in that first sentence, that this return to paradise is written within you. That's the exact same thing as the Course is saying the script is written. This is written. And the other thing that I love is Liz Cronkite talks a lot about we are all playing our part in the atonement. And that pretty much goes along with the script is written, that we have a part to play here. It's written within us. Everything that's happening is an unfolding of something that has already happened. And it's amazing how all of these teachings are saying the same thing. This is all written. This is all written within you. You're guaranteed your return. You're guaranteed your return to paradise, your return to heaven, your return to God. It's it's there. It's there. We're there already. But it's just really nice to hear it, and I think this is beautifully written. So thanks. I'm glad we're reading this.
Thank you. I appreciate that as well. I think, we're just seeing it from the eyes of Christ. Today's lesson. So I'll let Christ see through my eyes today. Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, we're all saying the same thing, really. We're all saying the same exact thing. And what Glorian said, that the Christ consciousness to me is the same thing as right-mindedness. It's the same for me, it's just the same thing. And the other thing when everything is of the mind, everything is of the mind. And that's what we're learning here. It has nothing has to do with the body because the body is not the truth of who we are. And that's why we're always being told to remember that, throughout the course. But I like too, again, what's coming to me when he says, you must accept me because I am the part of you that can guide you beyond what I accomplished to the accomplishment of creation and beyond creation to the story not yet written, the future not yet created. So you must accept me because I am the part of you. I am you, and it just reminds me, he says it so often in the course, basically that, if you want to be like me, I will help you, knowing that we are alike. If you want to be different, I will wait till you change your mind. I mean, he continually tells us, that, you can listen to one voice like me, that the only difference between us is that you just listen to the ego. You're not ready to listen to one voice. That's the only difference between us. But it takes effort and great willingness, but you can do it because I did it. So I mean, to me, that is like the best pep talk ever. Just continually telling us that all we have to do is change our mind, and we're the same. We just have to, it's not easy though, because I know for me, the ego is still very strong, and especially when it comes to body issues, but that's my classroom. That's my classroom. And, it helps me to get back to my right mind. It leads me back to my right mind. But to be in the right mind all the time, like Jesus, is definitely, we all have that potential. And I just think that's just the thought of that. It's just so beautiful. Thanks.
Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for that. And you're right, we are all saying the same thing, and it's so exciting. Because it's like it's come the dawn. Everybody's bing bing. I love that. It's so beautiful. Who would like to read from paragraph 25? This has been spoken of as a second coming of Christ.
I'll take a crack at it.
Thank you, Rico.
Good evening, family. I send you love and light from my heart to yours. I just want to tell everybody, thank you for the sharing. In AA, we have a group called The Big Book Comes Alive, and you guys are making this cause of love come alive. So I'm really enjoying the sharing. Thank you so much. This has been spoken. This has been spoken of as the second coming of Christ, because my story goes unfulfilled without your fulfillment. It is only in your fulfillment of the continuing story of creation that my story reaches completion. Interesting. It is a story whose completion cannot occur in singular form, but as with any true inheritance, only in a series, only in a joining together of all of the parts of the creation story into the wholeness of the story's end. As the story is seen to move from one element to another in an unbroken chain of events. Let's see. Trying to fix my thing. I gotta move my picture so I can see this. Okay. Of events, so too is the story of creation. As history proceeds with gaps only waiting to be fulfilled in current time, so too is it with the story of creation. You are a living history. You are living what will be tomorrow be history. You are living creation. You are living what will tomorrow be the story of creation. A chain of events is merely another way of saying cause and effect. The chain of events of creation include, thus far, the movement of the being into form and the movement of the being beyond form. What will be realized through the secret of succession is the elevation of form.
All
You
right.
can
I just want to stop for a minute, if you don't mind. Uh, because I have a question came to my mind as you were reading this, and I think that question may be in other people's mind as well, because he's talking about a chain of events and cause and effect, and I'm pretty sure in the Course of Miracles, cause and effect is not seen in this particular way, and I may be screwed up here, but there is no cause for any of the effect that we appear to be experiencing, because this is there all of this is a part of the dream. So am I hello, can anybody else have any thoughts about this? Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Well, I think what I get from it is synchronicity, cause and effect together.
Okay, so I just wonder, uh
A chain of events is merely another way of saying cause and effect. But a chain of events usually is synchronistic. Cause and effect. Yeah, I don't understand that either, but I get synchronicity from it.
Okay.
In my novice background, uh, as it says in the course, sometimes it is written, um, we are the effect that we cannot be cause, and nor can we explain cause, we can just be an effect. So if it is written and we're the effect of what is written, then we have nothing to do with cause. So when I read that, I kind of start stumbling a little bit too, just because it said cause and effect. And in my mind, we cannot be cause. We can be effect, but we can't be cause. Something else is cause. So you can help me either with my ignorance or my understanding. Either one, I love you.
I love it. Thank you, Rico. Mickey has her hand up and so does Karen. Go ahead, Mickey.
So I agree that this I don't think these two texts are always going to line up exactly. And from what I've heard, I've never read A Course of Love before. This is my first look at it. So, but from my understanding, it comes from a very different viewpoint um, in the concept of the world of form. And I don't, somebody who knows more about this text than I do could correct me, but I think also it talks a little bit about God being the creator of the world of form instead of the ego. Not sure at all. So I would love to hear from somebody who knows a little bit more about it. But I don't think that my point being is I don't think we can expect all of the texts that we read to line up together completely on every viewpoint. So we're going to get confused every once in a while. I think those of us who really study the course a lot are going to find things that aren't going to correlate.
And that's okay. I don't mind that because, otherwise we would be asking the question. So it's good to have that ability to even know what question to ask. But and yeah, you can't say that the world doesn't reflect or express God because everything reflects and expresses God. So I guess I'm struggling with the idea of form and elevation of form and that kind of stuff. Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, the ego always wants to figure things out. That's what's coming to me right now. The ego just wants to figure it out. Um, yes, A Course in Miracles does not teach that God created form. Exactly, Lori. Yes. It's interesting. And what comes to me is, Brooklyn was shared something with us about this, a little video of Course of Love. And the one thing that stuck with me was that become something like becoming aware of who you are while in form, becoming aware of who you are while in form. And that's what this kind of is reminding me of, Lynn, is what you're pointing out here. Like a chain of events is merely another way of saying cause and effect. The chain of events of creation include thus far the movement of being into form, the movement of being into form, becoming aware of who you are while in form. That just keeps coming to me. Um, and movement of being beyond form, the same thing, looking beyond the body, looking beyond the appearances. That's what the Course is teaching us. The movement of being beyond form, looking beyond the body, beyond the appearances, beyond the form. And what will be realized through the secret of succession when we awaken is the elevation of form, is the truth of who we are as spirit. Once we recognize that, becoming aware of who we are while in form until that gets elevated to the point that we recognize I am not this body. I am not this body, and really not just words. I believe that. I know this to be true. It's that elevated mind of awakening, But I like this, the way he starts it out with, this has been spoken of the second coming of Christ because my story goes unfulfilled without your fulfillment. It is only in your fulfillment of the continuing story of creation that my story reaches completion. So he can't do it alone. We can't do this alone. We are all in this together. It is a story whose completion cannot occur in singular form. I can't go home without my brother. I can't awaken alone. We are awakened together or not at all. But as with any true inheritance, only in a series, only in a joining together of all the parts of the creation story into the wholeness of the story's end, as a story is seen to move from one element to another in an unbroken chain of events. And he talks about that in the early miracle principles. So too is the story of creation. I just love that, just reminding us that, we're just one, one mind, and that together or not at all. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for that, Karen. I love the way you put all that together and made it a lot more cohesive for me to see, because I'm not objecting to this in any way. I'm just trying to I'm trying to know what it means, and where I can, say for sure, that God did not create this world, the world that I see. Doesn't mean that God didn't create a world at all. It's just that what I'm seeing is my own perception of what's there. And so uh, I'm like I said, I'm just trying to figure it out myself. Glorian, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Karen, I like what you said about that. That is the arc is entered two by two. It's not two bodies that we take, but it's the recognition of the Christ that I am and the recognition of the Christ in my brother. And that's the arc is entered two by two. But what was coming to me in this paragraph was, and this is for me, God is the substance of all form. So without God, nothing exists. The ego made the images that we see. God creates, we make. And I think if we really look at this, we're reading all different things, and we take what has meaning for us, and what does not, we can always put there on the shelf. But the good thing about that is we're actually sitting here confirming what we do believe, and it's giving us that opportunity to dig deeper into what we really truly do believe and make our own and accept as, for ourselves. And so that, for me, the entire life is a continuous learning experience. And I think that that's always what we should be doing, questioning and, recognizing, and of course, listening receptively to what spirit is telling us and what's revealed to us that we accept. Thanks.
Thank you, Glorian. I love that. Yeah, and that's it. We just, I just want to know the truth. No, nothing else. No big deal. Uh, and Karen has put in from the miracle principle, miracles are part of an interlocking chain of forgiveness, which completed is the atonement. So we can maybe assume that this chain of events that she's talking about here is the interlocking chain of events that of forgiveness, because it could be one or the other, interlocking chain of unforgiveness or interlocking chain of forgiveness. And it's up to us which we want to see. Brooklyn, go ahead. And it looks like our time is almost up. I can't believe it. But yeah, go ahead, Brooklyn.
I'm so grateful for us. Thank you. What beautiful sharing. I see that Lori put in there, A Course in Love does teach that God created form. We're God, and we made form. Well, I haven't read it. I haven't read it either, The Course in Love, but just what I'm pulled to it. And I'm so grateful that we're doing it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm grateful that we can confirm who we are when we read anything, you know? I just want to say that.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Yes, exactly. I'm grateful for that as well. I'm grateful for us, mighty companions. Sharon, go ahead.
Hi, I just want to say I'm enjoying this so much. I'm in North Carolina and I'll be driving back tomorrow morning. So Lynn, I don't want you to have to come on at 9:30 because there's too much noise when we're driving on the highway. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just going to listen. And when I'll get there, 9:30 if you want to get there, fine, but I'll be more listening because you would hear the noise. Okay?
Okay.
Just, okay. And I
I'll
just
just
love
play a
this.
recording from last week or something.
Yeah, this book is just so, I think that for me, it's about experience. It's not ever really about anything but experience because, belief is just thought. A belief is something that we don't experience. It's a symbol. Concepts are all symbols. So if we know, the knowing that which is the Holy Spirit is what we really are. So it's all the experience. So this book to me gives us just another, it's just a continuation. And if we get caught in concept, like the Course says, God didn't make it, but we're God. So we made it. So we're still God's son. So it's all semantics. And I love that Brooklyn recommended this. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for that too, Sharon. And yeah, I mean, not say no, but just say yes to everything and see how it falls. See what comes together. So, Glorian, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. So what time will we begin tomorrow? 11:30?
Yeah, let's see.
Well, how about 10:30? Oh, because we're not going to do the book because the girls can come on if they want to do it. But otherwise, no, it'll be 11:30. Thanks, Maureen, because I forgot.
Yeah,
We
no,
have a
we were
10.
just going to, Myrna's coming on. We're going to do the Tuesday with Friends at 11:30 then?
Yes.
11:30, and I just want to mention that tomorrow night then, in the beginning, before the Infinite Way teaching, we're going to do a little healing circle for Myrna. So if anyone would like to join us.
Is her surgery today? I mean, is it today or tomorrow?
I don't know. She said she was coming, so I do not think it's this week. I thought it was the 29th.
Okay,
but
all
I'm
right,
not
Yeah.
that's
sure.
a good
I'm really
idea.
not sure.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
going to be a great night tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
Susan Michelle told me that her surgery was tomorrow, but she may have been confused as well. So, we'll see. Because she wasn't with Susan today. Usually she's with her on Mondays, but she wasn't there today. So, and tomorrow morning at 11:30 is Tuesday morning with friends. And it's right here at the same place, 11:30 Eastern time. And we're doing chapters 15 and 16 from A Course in Miracles. So that's an answer to Elizabeth's question. Mickey, please go ahead.
So I just wanted to jump in real quick and tell everybody Sharon and I got together the other night in person, live, face to face.
Yeah,
Wow.
she came to visit Cliff and I. It was wonderful. We
She and
love
Cliff,
her.
she and Cliff were staying at a hotel that's about 6 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
It was so cool. We had
So
such
she's
a
gonna
good
come.
time.
Yeah, and we're gonna come to New York too, guys. New York, March
Yeah,
or
so
April. Probably April because it's warmer. But yeah, we'll all be together. To meet
we'll all
someone in
get
flesh is
FaceTime.
right. To meet someone in person,
Yeah,
it's just Cliff loves you. We just love spending time with you, Mickey. I
it's
appreciate that you
very
came.
cool. Say hi to Cliff for me and
I
tell
will.
tell
Yes.
him
Is he a
thanks
doll?
again.
All
I
right.
love
Just
Cliff.
love you. All
Yeah,
right.
I just love
Bye.
Cliff.
Hey, Glorianne, did you say a half an hour before the meeting tomorrow?
No, at the start
No,
of the meeting.
at the
At the
start of the
start.
meeting, just for a few minutes, we're going to begin with a healing circle for Myrna.
Whatever it is, doesn't matter. I'm there as much as you guys prayed for me. Believe me, I felt it. I'm there.
Wonderful. Good.
I love it. Thank
Will
you.
it be on YouTube? Of course, I have a doctor's appointment.
No, but I'll send a recording.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And Elizabeth just asked us what time in the morning. It's 11:30. Every Tuesday, usually I start at 9:30 a.m. at Eastern, Elizabeth. But we go pretty much like all day, real. I mean, till rain, right, Lynn?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then 10:30, you read from Carol House.
Yeah, but I won't. Yeah, I won't be.
Right.
It's so much
tomorrow
noise,
we'll just
right?
do 11:30, I guess.
Nikki, thanks
right.
for mentioning that because I wanted to tell them. I wrote to Karen. We were on a thread, and I wrote to Karen, and I love you. I wrote to Karen and Florian and Brooklyn. I said it was wonderful. I was so excited. You're just a love. You really are. So I can't wait to give everybody a hug.
Mm,
Sure.
Me
I
too.
love it.
Me
And
too.
Elizabeth, maybe you'll come too. Who knows? You're more than our whole group's invited. We want to invite
Thank
anyone.
you. It's a little longer
Yeah.
trip. I'm on the west coast of Florida.
Oh yeah. Well,
And we
you'll
just
see.
got through
Well, we
another
never know.
hurricane.
Never know.
We just got through another hurricane and the
Right.
roads are in my bubble are just getting cleared. There's still a lot, but you never know.
Lori doesn't know. Laura, we're going to meet. Yeah, I'm sorry, Elizabeth, but I want to make sure I tell her because Lori's a good friend of mine. I love everybody on this. You know, that's what we are. How could we
We
not
could
love
always do a
everybody?
FaceTime.
We're
Yeah.
all good friends, Sharon.
Right.
We're all sisters and brothers.
That's right. I
We're gonna
love
have
But
it.
to
you know
check
what?
your love license, Sharon.
What's that?
So we're gonna have to check your love license. Make
Right.
sure make sure all are
Because
included.
all are love to begin with. Right. You know, I got this thing since I'm a child. I'm like anybody to be left out, and Lori knows she's the same way. So
I
it's kind
know.
of weird that
No,
I care
no,
about
no
everyone.
one's left out.
Right.
All are welcome.
All right.
Me too. Me too. And thank God for, I mean, that's why we all come together
Yeah.
because we're here for each other. So, all right, you guys, I love you all.
Love you. See
Bye.
you
Thanks so
tomorrow.
much.
You,
All right.
Night. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
everybody have a great night.
Love you guys.
Big hugs. Big hugs.
Thanks so much.
Love you.
Mm.
Maybe we'll see you later this evening, Elizabeth. Not sure. All right. Bye-bye,
Do you
guys.
mean on the resurrection consciousness?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I have it on Kindle, both Audible and read. And I was all night just playing it. And wow. I mean,
Wow.
I think, it's just another level gets in. And I don't know if you've heard the Audible Kindle,
No,
but
I don't have
I
it.
forget who's
either.
well, that's an Audible. I got both versions. For some reason, I said, try it. I'd never done it before. And I forget